Hello, everybody. Good evening or good morning, depending on where you are. Welcome to episode 12 of Empire and Shadow, the Compact. This is our Shadow of the Demon Lord actual play with all sorts of influences from XCOM, as we've mentioned previously. If you are watching currently on Twitch, thank you very much. That is always appreciated. It's always awesome. If you're watching later on YouTube, you can watch us live on Twitch at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Saturday. So before we really get stuck into this game, let's quickly whip round and introduce ourselves. We unfortunately are without Zane C. Weber this week, so he is feeling unwell, and we hope that he gets better. But Jamie, how are you?
How am I? Totally not still eating my breakfast right now as we speak. You know what, Sam? I'm pretty well. I've already survived an attempt on my life this morning by an unruly bath mat, and honestly, nothing can kill me. I'm gonna be just fine.
That is the takeaway you should have from that. You are now invincible, and
That's what
you'll never come to harm. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. Ree, how are you doing?
Honestly, I am so ill.
Oh no!
I am very ill, so I apologize to everyone. I might have to duck out for times to deal with my illness, and I'm drugged to the nines, so fingers crossed I survive literally and figuratively. Yeah, no, I'm just drugged for fun.
Yeah, that's how you normally are.
Yeah, how I survive.
All right, Chantel, how are you?
I am, I'm good this morning. I'm pretty good.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right. Fantastic. I was saying while I was in doing the tunnel that, like, on paper it doesn't, like, an hour earlier doesn't seem too terrible, but there's that slight difference between, like, when you wake up and the sun's not quite up yet, and all waking up and seeing that the sun's up, and it's a whole different ball game. It's just, if I didn't know I was getting up just for something good, I don't know if I'd be up for it. But as I've said, I'm always super excited for our game.
It's also just set in here, and so
yeah,
12 layers. Where yesterday I was wearing as few as possible. It's like a real overnight change.
Definitely noticeable here as well. Which, for those not in Australia, it just randomly gets cold occasionally, and then won't. It'll just go back to being hot. But fingers crossed that it's actually here to stay for a little bit, because it's definitely preferable.
Yes.
Before we jump into the game, I just want to quickly go through and thank all of our wonderful sponsors. Fantasy Grounds, which is our virtual tabletop of choice. So all of the wonderful roles that you're going to be seeing tonight, and the terrible roles. We're not here to judge. But they'll be using Fantasy Grounds, and you can try it for free at fantasygrounds.com. You can also get all of your miniatures from Wayland Games. If you go to waylandgames.co.uk, you can get yourself a huge range of D&D, Warhammer, and 40k minis for 20% off. And this week, check out our sponsor, Tabletop Loot, who sell incredible dice. If we hit 20 retweets for our going live tweet, we'll give away a set of dice to the chat. So if you type in !tweet, it'll give you a link to that, and all you have to do is retweet it, and if we get enough dice, fantastic. You can also just type in !sponsor, and that will give you the links to all three of those groups. As always, you can interact with today's games when you give donations. You can also give the players critical failures, critical successes, wild magic surges, a whole range of things which have been always just a bit of a curveball, but are always just fantastically fun. And if you are watching on Twitch, or if, either live or later on the VOD, remember that you can clip anything that you think is particularly fun, and that we can use those for highlight reels and on Twitter. So, without further ado, we're going to jump in to Empire in Shadow, the Compact. So, the three of you have been involved with a bit of a manhunt for the last little while. What have you discovered, or what have you been? You've been told, I guess, is that back. If you cast your mind back to when a team went to the consistory in the church to investigate one of the bishops and to try and stop, well, at least sway the cult of the new god from being quite so purge happy. It was interesting because you were joined by one of the senior officers, which hadn't happened in your experience as an agent, but also something you hadn't experienced as an agent was it was the first time that all of the agents at the same time were sent on missions. No one was left behind. No one was given time to rest. Everyone was sent out, and that was odd, and did result in one of those groups being ambushed and ultimately injured. Amelia, Sorry, and Sly, to be precise. Sorry, in particular, was quite heavily injured, though they have now recovered under the experienced care of your medical officer. And what you've discovered is that the reason for this was that the Compact suspected that there was a mole in the organization. There was someone was betraying you, and that this was why in your missions you were constantly coming up against this rift cult, or as you found out, the Knights of the One True God, as they call themselves. The Compact believed that someone was feeding them information, and they had ruled out all of the agents, which only really left the Candles, who are not within the headquarters, the ones that you sometimes meet out in the field. And so each team that was sent on a mission was being sent on information from a specific Candle. So for the team that we followed, you were following information from Lottie, and Lottie was ultimately proven to not be the traitor, to the point where she was invited to become an agent proper. But that was not the case for the team that got ambushed, and so they have discovered that the traitor that they suspected was a Candle by the name of Dugan, who was a dwarf that we met way back in episode 1 in our very, very first session.
That's right.
Good old dude nuts.
Yeah. Now, normally when and you've had this when you were sent to investigate officers to see if they were traitors, and normally the policy of the Compact is to avoid killing where possible. It's much, much better in the long run to bring someone who's betraying the Empire back into the fold than it is to kill them. It's not as messy. It's waste of talent sometimes. Generally, the Compact will give a warning rather than just kill someone outright. If they don't listen to the warning, then obviously an example is made. But since the Orc Uprising 10 years ago, and given that the Empire has never been as close as it is today to falling apart, the Compact has taken a very hardline stance on people within the Compact betraying the organization, either by joining the Orc Uprising or joining or siding with a province that is wanting to separate from the Empire, or in this case, siding with the Rift Cultists, the Knights of the One True God, as it would appear Dugan has. And that hardline is that they are executed. There's no quarter. There is no trial. You are a member of the Compact, and you should know better. And that is the case now with Dugan. So the three of you have been involved in a manhunt operation throughout the town of Sixton, which is the capital of the Northern Reach. It's been led by Major Simmons. Sergeant Codden was with you as well. It was quite a big use of force. I think Raw 1 was probably brought along. So it's been this massive effort. But so far, Dugan and his supporters have managed to mostly elude you. And it was almost looking like he had gotten away entirely until the three of you caught wind of the fact that he was trying to get onto an overnight express train to the city of Foundry, which is on the northern point of the Northern Reach, whereas Sixton is at the southern point. So they're sort of both in the middle. There's a straight, almost a straight line, and there's a train line that connects the two that runs along what's called the Fall, which is a massive cliff face that sort of divides the Northern Reach. If Dugan is able to reach the Foundry, it is very likely you will lose him entirely. The Foundry probably has the largest single population of dwarves within the Empire. He could also just lose himself in the Iron Peak Mountains that the Foundry has a lot of mining operations within, and from there could probably find his way into one of the dwarven settlements, at which point would be even harder for you to even go there, let alone find him. So you raced. You tried to get a message out to the others, but to reach the train in time, you had to sort of go. So the three of you are the only ones who have managed to get on, and you are currently on the very last carriage, is one of the baggage cars of this train, and you've managed to jump on just in the nick of time, and the train is now beginning to pull out and begin its journey. So quickly, for benefit of our audience, who are you playing this week? Jamie.
This week I am playing Amelia once again. I think though when we see her at the beginning of this episode, she is in her engineering outfit rather than the overdressed Gothic Lolita style we have mostly seen her in before. So she's just in slacks and a shirt. Her hair is sort of wispy and bedraggled, and her body sort of seems out of place, and she's looking incredibly pale and drawn, and her eyes sunken into her head. Breathing heavy from the run to catch the train.
Well, that actually reminds you of something, so thank you very much. I'll get to that once we have gone through. So, Ree, who are you playing?
My first time playing Sly. I'm going to enjoy doing his voice, because it makes me think of The Simpsons when he's like, "Why do you talk like that?" "I had a stroke."
Oh God, it does too, doesn't it?
Yeah, every time he spoke, I was all I see is that waiter. Maitre D. It was a Maitre D, wasn't it? Oh, it's a flashback. Anyway, is a very comely, at the moment, a very comely looking human male. They are, in fact, he is, in fact, a changeling. who has taken this appearance, and I'd say he is very smartly dressed. He's up and coming in the ranks, you see, and very focused on that path to the top. So now he's read somewhere that if you dress for success, you'll get it. So he's almost looks a little bit too much for what he's doing, but I think he's committed to that.
He's dressing for the job he wants.
Yeah, and I think for him, like, the jog was like a brisk jog behind them, quite light, like, oh, they'll hold the train for me. Like, he's very confident.
Saying as though it's entirely Sly's fault that it was so nail biting getting on the train.
Yeah, I would say so. I'd be like, they're like, "Grr," and he was like, oh. I don't know why he's doing that, but he is.
Just that practiced, irritation.
Mm-hmm.
Chantel, who are you playing?
I'm playing the sultry built Aurora today. And on this mission, she's wearing some form-fitting pants because, we got to run. And she's currently just leaning against the back of the car, breathing heavily, but checking her nails out.
Awesome. Now, what I want to ask, and like everyone's done a great job describing what they're wearing, this might change that. So, who during one of the raids that you were involved with in this before you got on the train, which one of you discovered an ancient-looking set of leather armor? Like, this looks like it was probably it's very much in a design for a group called the Calisan, which are this mysterious group that ultimately were the founders of the empire. It's this mysterious. They kind of just almost just like appeared on the shores of the continent, and a lot of the writing suggests that they were very confused by that fact, but they made the best of it and ultimately founded the empire that you are now trying to hold together. So who found this suit of armor that looks like it'd be better suited in a museum? And it might be the same person or it might be someone else, but who decided to put it on?
I think Amelia may well have found it, but she wouldn't have donned the armor herself, but rather...
I think Sly would have been real keen to put that shit on.
Yeah.
Because it's old and important and distinguished.
Like, despite the fact that it does look like it, as I said, it should be in a museum, it is still one, as when you put it on, you realize it is still in very good condition. It's still very sturdy. It's still going to be perfectly serviceable as armor. But as I said, it looks like this sort of ancient Calisan design, which, for reference, is a very sort of Roman-looking. So you've got like that sort of like leather, like sort of cuirass or like breastplate. You've got like greaves and braces. You have a helm that's got a horsehair crest dyed in
like,
red.
Does it have like a bit of a skirt situation going? That
which
for me.
Let me tell you, I put a lot of effort into working out what the hell that thing is called, and they're called turges, and boy does it have them.
Brilliant! I'm glad I've learned.
Not only does it, because the turges, as far as I can tell, anyone wants to correct me if I'm wrong, refers not just to the sort of the skirt. Like that sort of like the extra strands looking thing. It's also similar in design, but on your shoulders, and it's got all of that.
That sounds so drag. I love it. Like the idea of the skirt matching the shoulders. Like that's great.
Yeah.
I'm all for it.
So far, it basically just feels like, as good as the armor you had been wearing before. So it's just essentially it's soft leather. But when for a moment when you first put it on, you had this sort of surge of just feeling like almost like fearlessness, and this desire to confront your enemies head on. But when you thought your enemies, it wasn't any of the people that you would consider your enemies. It was almost like this ancient feeling of like, you know, the enemies of Calasan kind of thing. But after that went away, it was only for a brief moment. It's so far been fine.
So same stats as my soft leather armor?
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, just keep in mind that you're wearing that.
Okie doke. But I reckon over the top, I'm wearing some fancier garb.
Yeah, you've made it work.
Yeah, totally. I look a bit bulky, but I trimmed myself down when I changed in order to make my silhouette look a little bit more okay with the armor under the outfit.
Awesome.
As we're like in this back carriage, and Aurora, said you were just like leaning on something, looking at your nails. Amelia reaches into a bag at her side, and she pulls out like this long metal tube, and then she starts pulling out other things from the bag and like piecing them together. And in under 60 seconds, she like clicks it all together, and she's got her trusty mechanical pistol.
Hey,
Yeah.
so cool.
Useful.
Imagine that looks like, to anyone just watching, it does look like she's just pulled out random spare parts out of a bag and just like junk.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then a minute later, she's holding a functioning gun, and everyone's just like, "I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
What? What?"
And she looks at Aurora and she says, "Useful for getting past the guards, yes, darling?"
Well, if you plan on killing them, yes.
Now, let us find this dwarf and off him already.
Yes, please.
So as I said, you're in the back. You're on a essentially a baggage cart. What do you do?
So these cars, are they connected by doors? Like, can we see through it, or is there no visible door connecting to the following car?
Oh, to the next
train.
the next car on. Yeah, yeah. So you're in sort of like this this little back. It's a very, very small. Like, literally the very back of this car. You are probably near like the shower. There's probably a shower thing here for guests to use should they want. And then there is a door that is, so there's basically this very, very small room. There's two doors. One is signed to be a shower. One is, you would guess, going further into this into the car. And if you look through that, it is like a corridor going along the edge of the cart, of the train car. Sorry, keep calling it a cart. And yeah, it looks like there's a door. That if it's anything like where you are, there's a door leading into the next carriage.
Sam, are there any suspiciously dwarven-sized pieces of baggage or crates?
I mean, if you want to go, there's it's not like there's, you're in like a corridor if you look down, and then there's rooms off this corridor which are used for the storage. Like, it's not just like an open space. If you wanted to, you can search those rooms and see, but
we're gonna have to go room to room, right? We got to find this guy.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I think. Just want to double check. Sly is quite good at doing quick search. Has a quick search ability.
Yes, he does.
So it'd be very easy if you want to make that roll, which I think is a perception check with a Bane.
Yep.
Yes. You can basically clear a room with each of those rolls.
Okay. I'll roll it with a Bane. There's my Bane. Oh, the worst of Banes. Well done.
Yeah. And you get a +2 to your perception roll.
I'm just going to roll it straight from... Oh, in addition to what it... Well, then that takes me up to a 17. So that +2 is on the top of what I actually roll, right?
Yes.
I'm confused. I rolled perception, which is +2.
Yeah, so perception is obviously based off your intellect, but some ancestries get bonuses, some pards give you bonuses to your to that roll, and so Sly being a changeling and also an agent, that both gives him bonuses to his perception. So there's an additional, which unfortunately I haven't worked out a way for the character sheet to make that a roll. So you can just see the perception says 4, which is what the bonus should be. But yeah, I mean, either way, 15's a success, 17's also a success. So you clear the first. There's 3 rooms with baggage, and the first one is there's nothing untoward in that room. You're able to cross it off the list, as it were. If you want to do the other 2, that's totally fine. Just quickly do that.
I'll turn to my compatriots and be like, please allow me.
I've just got my pistol drawn, trying to cover his back.
Thanks, and then plus the 2, so I don't even need the +2.
If you want, in the bottom left corner where it says modifier, you can just put 2 in that, and that will add the 2 to the roll.
Well, because it adds the Bane in there as well. So I was like, oh, I don't want to mess with it in case I screw up the Bane.
Yeah, it ends up working. Like it does take that in consideration without mucking up the Bane, but it is a bit fiddly. Like it's not that difficult to just roll intelligence and mentally add a 2 to it. So
yeah. Anything in that room?
No.
Okay. Roll for the next one. I've got the +2 on the Bane, so it should work. No, it didn't. It got rid of it. So I'm just gonna add the 2 mentally. Oh, nope, not enough.
Oh dear.
This one, you still clear the room and it's still fine. It just takes you longer.
Okay.
So you do this one just you do have to actually sort of instead of just being able to do a quick scan, you do have to sort of go in and move some stuff around and.
I'm bored. I can't keep looking in rooms all day. Oh. I feel like this is at this point Sly's shoving stuff and being a bit petulant.
Well, this it is sort of.
I got this.
Wonderful work, darling.
I know.
This does actually create a bit more noise than the other ones have, and so you hear someone approaching from the other side of the carriage. What do you have a moment if you wanted to try and react?
I'd like to hide.
I'm not worried. I might get in the shower.
Yeah, are any of the shower stalls occupied?
No. And there's it. Yeah, so there's a shower thing at the back, so you can potentially jump, get back in there if you want. It's easy enough to jump into one of the rooms. But if Sly is just finishing off his search, then one of the staff from the train sort of appears in the doorway, and he's sort of looking at you, and he's just like, "Can I help you?"
Aurora wanted to hide somewhere.
I wanted to hide.
It's very easy to sort of duck out of sight. There's a lot of little like side areas, and given that you are at the noise is coming from the I guess the front baggage area. That's where this guy's beeline. So you can just sort of like dart back from that, and he's now seen Sly, so he's not looking further or anything. Right. So yeah, you guys haven't been noticed.
I'll be out of sight as well.
But I was getting into a shower. I was in a shower cubicle.
Pardon? Sorry, my.
Oh, I said I was in a shower cubicle. I wanted to try and hide in a shower cubicle.
Oh, I thought you were saying you weren't doing. You were just like finishing your search.
No, because when you said do you decide, I was like, I guess I jump in a shower cubicle.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. You will need to make a roll for that because that's on the other side of the carriage.
Okie doke, agility.
Yes.
Okie doke, I'll do my best. Oh, that's a 3. I'm very fatigued from searching.
So you sort of hear him coming, and you go, I need to, but you run into him essentially. You're just not quick. You weren't as quick off the mark as you wanted to be. And so yeah, he's this clearly just a member of the staff on the train. He's just like, can I help you? What do you need?
Yes, I was wondering, do you provide complimentary towels for your showers? I was just about to have one, and I realized, where the fuck is my complimentary towel?
He sort of, he's like, well, there should have been one in your room, but if there wasn't, I apologize.
Oh, apologize more. Please.
He says, if you'd like, I will show you where you can find more towels, and you please may use them at your discretion. And he sort of leads you to the back towards the end of the where the back of the carriage where you came through, and there is like a little cupboard with like linens and whatnot. And he sort of hands you a towel, and he says, if there's anything else, please don't hesitate to ask.
Oh, what's your name?
It's Drake, sir.
Ah, Drake, sir. Lovely, lovely. I'm very, very happy to have met you. And keep up the good job. Hard work pays off. Climb that corporate ladder. Ha ha! I'm going to go wash myself. And I step into a shower with the towel.
He's just had a bit of a roller coaster of being like, what the hell is this? To just being like, oh, it's one of those customers.
Yep.
And then he heads off. He goes back to whatever he was doing before.
Brilliant, I say from inside the shower.
Just to no one in particular.
Yeah. Just found the shower was brilliant. I turn on the water to like keep up the ruse. I'm like, and I'm standing like as far back in the cubicle as I can because I'm like, I don't want to get wet. With the towel like in front of me.
I also appreciate that you were like, it kind of occurs to me that, are you still wearing like the helmet with the horsehair crest?
I guess I am, but then fancy clothes over my bulky.
Yeah, like.
But
it
would
just
probably
look like
to the pomp and circumstance.
Yeah, it probably looks like you're wearing like. Given how eccentric you're being, is like, is there a costume party on this trip? Like, I don't remember. I don't like it. It doesn't like while like given that you've had a chance to wear it. Like, this is obviously this is proper armor. To look at it, anyone wouldn't. It doesn't look like, practical armor. So it's like the guy's like, I don't know what's going on here, but whatever.
Fashion. That's what's going on here.
Fashion.
I'll step out and say, all right, ladies, I've saved the day. Shall we press forward?
Sam, how unreasonable is it for me to step out of the shadows and now be completely dressed in formal wear?
I think for like anyone other than Amelia, it'd be entirely unreasonable. But for Amelia, it's fine.
She has a
For
robot
Amelia.
helper.
There's no other option.
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's now
That's
like
true, yeah.
it's one of those like things that only happens in the movie, but as she steps out of like the room that she ducked into, she's now in like a black evening gown with like lace across the top, and her hair's all pinned up so you can't tell that she's been running.
I love
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. And she just like looks at the other two and she's like, I found some useful baggage.
I'm
Tyler,
just
you
gonna
must tell
side
me a
eye her.
secret.
Yeah,
Well,
I think Aurora, as you say that, like she sort of twists her back and her shoulders, and it almost looks like her body sort of writhes underneath her as she's like settling into the dress.
Oh, goodness.
huh. All right. I like it. Shall we move on? And I think Sly is like, it's back to that like off-put rivalry with Amelia as well. It's like,
Yeah,
bitch,
and
what?
as she passes him, she like puts her hand on his chest and she says, "Very well handled, darling."
I know that. and is now like really confused. Like, what? Why wouldn't it be?
Aurora avoids this situation entirely.
Was.
Is there a way? You've told us a little bit about the carriage, but what kind of connection is it between the carriages? Is it like an open carriage, like to step from one carriage to another? Is it open or is it closed? Are we in a little tunnel to move over or not?
No, it would be open. There's probably like because it would be designed so that they can just mix and match the carriages as needed. This has obviously been set up for passengers and is a bit nicer, but the railway is mostly used to bring ore from Foundry to Sixton. So if they needed to, they can put in all the these big sort of industrial carriages if they want to. And so I imagine between the carriages, there's probably a system where when they link them up, they can like make a little like platform that you can walk across, and then put up like there's like a chain link on either side to pretend that there's safety.
Yes. And are there windows?
And on the carriages, sure, yeah. Not between the carriages, it's open. It's like, or like between the doors leading to looking into the next carriage. Yes. There's a little like window, window you can look through and see in.
Can I go up to the window and have a look through? What do I see?
Yeah, it looks like the next carriage is probably one of the sleeper cars.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, make a. Where is yeah? Make an intelligence roll for me.
Okay. Just straight intelligence.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you pass those. So you had to get on this train quite quickly, but think like when you sort of think about it and you try and remember how these sorts of trains, and maybe you've used one of these trains before, but you're pretty sure the normal layout for the carriages at least is a sort of like there's the baggage car at the back, and then there'll be 2 sleeper cars. In the middle there'll be like a dining one, and then probably 2 more sleepers. Possibly at the other end there'll be like a bar for some of the sort of like the the people who paid for a slightly better ticket, and then likely their baggage car, and then there'll be the train itself, the steam engine,
The locomotive.
the locomotive. So that's what you suspect will be the layout of this train.
Right. And what time of day is it?
It's evening. This is an overnight train.
Okay. So it's reasonable to assume some people will be sleeping.
Yes.
Okay.
Particularly in the first couple, which is not like, it's not like this is still a relatively nice train in general. So it's not like there's like it's more sort of there's the high end carts at the front, but these are still nice. But these are probably people who are going to, work, back to work. They'll, so they'll be wanting to sleep. So when they arrive in Foundry, they can just sort of immediately get going.
Okay. I'll turn to my companions and say, I'll just tell them the layout that I suspect, and then say, should we go through?
Yes, but perhaps stealthy.
Is there any other way?
Oh, I like it. And I'm gonna hug the wall, a la Kronk in The Emperor's New Groove.
But
I was just about to say this
as a distraction.
You go. So.
Well, the 2 of you cover my back. Yes. Amelia doesn't really do
there's not much
stealth per se.
No, okay, fair.
Moving.
Okay.
So moving between you're not exactly moving like obviously you're moving quietly, but there's not like a lot of cover as you move, because it is like a thin corridor.
Oh yeah,
going,
when I
going down like
stealth on a train, it's just not. You know when you're walking on a train and it's moving and you're bashing into every wall. Let's try and not do that.
Yeah, just be careful how I place my moves.
I
kick up the ass.
got a Snakes on a Plane flashback when you said stealth on a train.
I'm sick of this.
Yeah.
Motherfucking stealth.
On this motherfucking train.
Oh.
See, that wouldn't be stealthy if we went full.
No. That's when you. But what? Yeah. So you are obviously moving quietly, and Sly and Aurora are probably very ready at the moment's notice to sort of just like slip into one of the cabins. But then again, there is a chance that cabin will be locked, and there's a better chance that it'll be occupied. So you need just be aware of that, I guess. But you don't see as you enter this into this carriage, you don't see anyone else. They're either in their room or just,
all right. Shall we start investigating rooms?
Yeah.
Can I go along and just gently check the doors to see which are locked, if any?
Yeah. there's let me see, about 6 6 rooms. The first 3 appear to be sort of like a double berth room, and then the last 3 seem to be single berth. The one of the double berths, the first one is locked. The other 2 aren't. And if you go along the other way, the single berths aren't locked either.
Okay.
Are you just checking, or are you like if they are unlocked, are you opening it up, or are you just checking the?
No, I'm just checking to give us an idea of which possibly inhabited. Sorry. What to do? Well, I have a thought. I'm going to go in and maybe just barge in like I've accidentally gone into the wrong one, into all of the unlocked ones. That way it's not weird. Yes!
As you do.
Are the lights off in any of those rooms?
Yes. There's still it is still just light enough that it wouldn't be surprising to not have the light on, but the sun is just about to set, so it will soon be dark. But there are lights on the train. In terms of which ones are occupied, it seems like only the 2 unlocked double berths. One of them are empty. But one of the single berths does have a person who is sort of was a person who looked like they were getting ready for bed, and they're very surprised when this very elaborately dressed individual jumps into their room, and they're like, "Oh, what?
Karen? Is this Karen's room? Where's Karen? Have you seen Karen?"
I walk in and grab him by the elbow, and I say, "That's not our room, darling," and just.
Oh, Karen! There you are. Sorry,
Closing the
Karen.
door behind.
This is Karen.
The guy is just stunned. He's like,
Did it look like Dugan? We didn't just walk in on Dugan, did we? That'd be great. Just done.
There he is. It's him. He's getting ready for bed. It's fine. Let's just wrap it up and enjoy the train ride. No, it was just human. So.
Mm-hmm. Human dude, nothing suspicious about him. What was he wearing to bed? Did he have knives strapped to his body?
He just looked like a regular guy who was getting ready to sleep the entire way to Foundry.
But was he wearing underwear? Because if he was, he was probably planning to make a quick move later. Oh.
He was in bed and under the sheets. He was reading.
Getting changed? He was reading. In my head, he was getting changed. So he's under the cover, because he's like, I'm not going to lock the door, but just to be safe, I'll get changed under the sheet. You do hear the door lock behind you, but it is this sort of, it's something he seems to have just either not thought about or, yeah, or he just maybe in previous travels he hasn't needed to.
He will now.
Yeah, from this point forward. The other rooms don't seem to be occupied, at least on this in this carriage.
Hmm.
Okay.
What about the
they don't seem to be, or they're not.
Yeah.
Well, all the unlocked ones, all the other unlocked ones that you've entered, appear to be they don't look like they're in use.
I gestured to one of the locked doors, and I said, "Perhaps one of you can prove your use." And I just side-eye Sly.
Oh, of course. And then I knock on the door and I say, "Housekeeping."
I look at Aurora and just
Aurora rolls her eyes and face palms.
Make me an intelligence roll.
Cool. All right.
There is no response.
Well, shall I just crack it open? I start picking it.
Yeah, I don't think you have any trouble at all picking this lock.
Oh yeah, because it's like a lock on a train. I guess they're pretty craptastic. It's like when you're on the National Express buses and you use the toilet at the back of the bus, and you're like, "Ooh, that's not gonna hold." Like we're gonna go over a speed bump. Everyone's got to be taking a dump on the highway.
It's more like, it's less for like security and more just be like for show. If like anyone like with actual skill and who wants to get through is going to get through. They kind of just rely on the fact that you're on a moving train, and it's going to if someone does steal something, there's your list of suspects is pretty small.
That's just true. Yeah.
So yeah, you open it up. There's definitely somewhat at least one or two, probably two people. It's a double berth. Are here, but then they're not in here. They might have gone to the dining room or something. But there are like bags and personal effects and whatnot.
Quick search?
Yeah, sure.
Just for anything that might indicate Dugan is one of them. So I need my Bane.
Yep.
Burn. And then I need my intellect plus still plus my extra 2. It's not enough. 6.
Yeah, no, there's not. Nothing. Doesn't appear to be anything here.
I walk out and I'm like, well, no one's home.
Is it worth locking it again?
Probably. Can I shut the door and try and change the lock back?
No. Easy.
Okay, cool. It's like in a toilet as well when you're a kid and you'd be like, I can open this by pushing the bacon sign back and forth. Yeah, but you hate your friends because they're like, I'm going to come in there. People are awful. Anyway, I'm sorry, I'm really drugged out and I've got pain brain.
Speaking of t-shirts we need, people are awful.
People are awful.
Okay. Well, that's all my talents used up. Next?
Right. I'll move on to the next locked door and unlock that one.
Again, like Aurora is also not challenged by this, and it's a similar thing here. Like, it look clearly that someone is using the room that is not here at the moment.
Okay. Anything interesting in the room? Just out of curiosity.
Make a perception roll.
Ooh.
Come on.
Ooh, that's a 14.
Yeah.
Nothing like that seems to relate to why you're here, but this person probably has some relatively nice things. There might even be like like business documents that are at least sensitive to them, but they're not nothing that seems to be directly related to you, but you could take something of theirs if you wanted.
No. I'll leave, lock the door.
All right.
No dwarf?
No dwarf.
Well, Zendalix, follow me, and I'll walk towards the next carriage.
And I'm going to continue to do the Kronk sneak.
I mean, yeah.
It's amazing that you make that work. It's like how it's a testament to how good Sly is that is actually effective for him.
I'm so comely right now, and remember, I've got that helmet with all that horse hair as well. Like,
Yeah, it's like you look ridiculous, but it's like
yeah,
he's still like, you know, completely, other than like the little like his theme song that he's humming to himself, completely silent.
Amelia is basically trying to pull the Scarlet Woman effect that these guys will remain hidden by virtue of her drawing all the attention in the room.
Yeah. Why would you look at anyone else?
Aurora's at the rear, keeping an eye on what's behind us.
All right. It as you get to the other end of the carriage, it seems like Aurora was correct. It's another sleeping cart, and looks very much the same as this one.
I'll do a quick rundown and check all the locks again. So we know how many locks.
As you in this one, as soon as you like, so basically it's like as you touch the door leading into the next carriage, there's just like, it's almost like this flicker of darkness. It kind of almost feels like the train goes through a tunnel, but it, you know, very clearly doesn't.
Ooh, cool light effects, I assume.
If you say that, I will immediately cast Sense Magic.
Yeah.
You remind me, does Sense Magic tell you like the type of magic, or like,
You know if there are any ongoing magical effects in the area and from what points they originate.
yeah, there's definitely something going on in the carriage, and there's like a couple of points that you can feel to the edge of this pulse of sensing magic.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like it seems like they're coming from the various berths.
Yeah, so I like kick back the hammer on the pistol and I say, magic, and I just like nod in the direction of the two doors, or the doors that are relevant where I can.
Yeah.
I'll draw my knife.
I'll also draw my long knife, but I'll try and keep it a little bit behind my back, and I'm going to go up to the closest door where that magic is emanating from and check. Is it one of the locked ones? Is it locked?
Yeah. That one definitely appears locked.
I raise my hand to knock.
I go, wait, darling, and
I'm gonna unlock the door.
Yep.
So I'll stand very close to your side with my knife up, like, but then I'll be like, oh no, and then I'll hide it again.
So you've unlocked the door.
Can I use my knife to slide the door open?
Yeah.
Sexy.
And as it slowly slides,
No, darling.
you and Aurora is quite short. Probably sort of like you know dwarf or halfling height kind of area. And so as you open it, two things are very apparent. There's just a stench that's kind of just like washes out of this room, and then standing right in the doorway, right in front of you, is a corpse that is now lunging towards you.
Stab.
So I was everyone like looking into the room as she did this, or you also
well,
were you positioned like behind her kind of thing? Yeah.
No,
I would have been.
But I guess
Yes,
I could have peeked
to the
in.
side. I would have been just like back a little bit with my pistol raised, definitely looking into the room.
So I need all three of you to make will checks.
Hey, That's not good.
Will check, correct? Oh, I do not have a lot of will.
Nope.
Oh, nope. 5.
I'm fine.
Yeah, so both Sly and Aurora, you are, gripped by fear as you see this what you now realize is a pair of shambling corpses. And so you need to add a point of insanity, both, and you are frightened for that number of rounds.
Oh shit, Sly's nuts.
Oh no.
Sly's at
It's fine.
4 points of fucking insanity.
It's
what
fine,
the fuck is
so long as
Sly
it's not-
doing?
He's seen some stuff.
Well,
like
He's hanging out at
let's-
Arkham or something. It's wrecked up.
like Sly's been on some missions where he is definitely he's definitely seen things that were less than pleasant. So yeah.
Explains his childlike regression.
his coldness.
Yeah. Oof.
We're gonna as we move into combat, you hear you now hear what sounds like just banging on it. Like it appears to be like every booth, every berth is just like there's this banging on those doors from the inside of these.
It seems like
These
somebody was transporting an undead army in here.
I love that you're just talking to yourself, because like me and Aurora are like,
Yeah. So am I the
housekeeping?
only one that gets to act here, Sam?
Yeah, you're the only one who can currently act in the fast round.
Okay, so
Well, I mean Victor as well.
yeah. If it had only been one, I think she would have just taken the shot. But seeing that there's two of them and hearing banging around, Amelia reaches up to her neck where her pentacle amulet is, and as she does so, it starts glowing, and she sort of like pulls it off. But like, there's never a moment where the actual necklace snaps or anything. It just like comes off, and she throws it into the air above her head, and it sort of like expands out and glows into a pentacle as she does so. And then descending from the roof of the train carriage above her head is a crossbow turret.
Oh, that's awesome.
Fucking
Yeah.
love her magic girl
Hell
transformation
yes.
crap.
Mhm.
Yes. But just sort of like it just kind of like just lowers itself as if it's coming through the pentacle.
Yeah. And then
Very
she
awesome.
just says, Victor, bite. And as she does that, her body sags, and she sort of no longer seems to fill out the evening gown that she found as Victor, this like mechanical snake dog thing, just crawls out from her dress and charges at these two zombies.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna make a charge attack with a Bane for Victor.
Yep.
And then he got a -3, but he has a +3 to hit. So I'll just roll a straight roll. Yeah. 15. It should be 15.
Yeah, that
It is
hits. That hits.
Mm.
All right. He does 1d6 damage. He deals 6 damage and bites one of these fuckers.
Nice.
Bam. Yeah, it's a solid blow, and it's this thing kind of like reels back, but no longer really feels pain or anything of that sort. So,
Oh, what a life that must be.
doesn't have to think. Doesn't have to.
I just to not be in pain, that'd be friggin' great.
I'm happy to shamble.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love a ball?
So the one that Victor attacked is going to try and attack Victor as well. Poorly, I imagine. I don't think Victor's defense is 6.
No, it's 13.
He's a little bit hardier than that one. But the other one will be going. No, it will charge in. But this will be against. It'll sort of try and push past the other one. It's going to try and claw at Aurora. No, it won't.
No.
All right, we're into so Aurora and Sly. What are you doing?
My crossbow turret fires, right? Oh,
crossbow turret fires at the end of the round.
Oh, I thought you guys didn't get a turn at all. This is so much better.
No. Yeah, no. They just can't go in the fast round.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not that bad. So
we're both like, after you. After you. I will jump in. I will dive in. Am I within reach of one of them? I know it's a very cramped, confined space, so I'm not sure. Like, can I stab my long knife through, like, from behind the side of the door? Can I be like, eh?
You could probably, like, with, like, while, like, one person could probably block the doorway into the thing, two people can stand, like, next to each other and sort of get it and attack into it, which is kind of what the corpses are doing. So you can, like, Aurora's already there. But also Aurora is short. You can even probably attack over her.
That's true. I'm very tall and comely. So I'll stab it in the face. Now I get a bane. Do I get a bane on my attack because I'm frightened?
Yes.
That sounds about
But
right.
I'm going to... So I'll use trickery. Which should give me a straight roll.
Yes. I don't think you get the damage bonus.
Okay.
No, you need to have the boon. You need to be attacking with a boon.
Okay. All right. So I'll still do it so that I get a straight roll.
Do you? No, you do. I think that's what that means.
Okay. So straight roll. Pretty good.
Yeah.
16.
No, that's...
Nice. So I'll just roll regular long knife damage. Not great. 2.
I mean, it's still going, but it's pretty beaten up at this point. And Aurora?
I am going to do the same, but aiming for the dick.
I mean, it's right there. I mean, you're about waist height.
It's right there.
Yep.
Gonna stab you in the dick for 1 damage.
You know, you'd think it'd be more effective, but turns out when you can't feel pain.
Aurora has learned something this day, even frightened.
That the D doesn't hurt as much as you might think.
I don't think that needs to be on a t-shirt, but it does need to be on some form of clothing.
Somehow need to get those words out there.
All right, crossbow turret, thrums, and crossbow bolt at the injured zombie. That's a 20.
A crit. That's a crit.
Okay,
Hey!
so it's 7 plus 2 more, 9 damage.
Yeah, you obliterate it.
Yeah,
just bolt like through the mouth, sending it flying back into the room.
It's possibly even pinned to the back of the wall.
Good, stay there.
Amelia like reaches up and pats the bottom of the turret with her hand.
Top of the at the top of the round, the banging is ongoing. I'm just gonna quickly do a thing. Two of the doors burst open,
No.
and one from not the next booth, but the one after that. So the last double booth, and so there's 2 more corpses coming out of that, and then one of the single booths bursts open, and there's another another corpse out there. So there's now 3 in the corridor, and now it's top of the round.
Yeah, Amelia like looks down the corridor and she goes, "Fuck's sake!" And she like puts her hands on the ground, and like another glowing pentacle appears at her fingertips, and she pulls out of the ground like a backpack with a hose attached, which we saw in the last episode. And she throws it to Sly.
Oh, no.
We're all gonna die.
Just like catch it.
And she looks down the corridor and she just says, "Point and click, darling."
Sam, I feel like it's really important to
kind of
ask.
adventure.
It seems really important to ask whether or not the interior of this train's made of wood.
I mean, mostly, yeah.
I thought this was like a steampunk steam train.
I mean, there's definitely metal as well, but it's probably more like wood paneling. You hope, but
I'm
like
a good aim.
it does mean the room can be on fire, which
And then I'm gonna use a triggered action to celerity, and Amelia just sort of like what's that like after image effect where someone's like body like leaves an image of itself, and she sort of just like poofs backwards about.
Like an
you do like a
cartoon.
sort of like you do like an anime like shadow step kind of thing where it's like
Exactly.
Like... Love it.
So I'm just gonna move away from the zombies.
Good call.
Anyone else? What's Victor doing?
Well, there's still one alive right next to him, right? So he will follow the prime directive and bite. But he no longer has a bane, correct?
No.
Cool. +3. That's only an 8.
Yeah, I mean, probably it's probably still hitting. It's just not as it is. It's difficult to do significant damage to something that doesn't feel pain.
Yeah.
So it's working its way. But so that one will also continue to try and hit Victor unsuccessfully, or just punching something made of metal is just not as effective as you might hope it would be. Which moves us into the slow round. So what is Aurora and Sly doing?
Well, I'm gonna light this shit up. So
I mean,
if I recall,
flamethrower.
I think it's actually because it shoots in a line. So could I go down the corridor and hit? There's 3 zombies shambling in the corridor now.
Yeah, you could hit all 3 of them. You could move up and just and torch all 3 if you.
I'd like to do that.
Agility rolls? Is that what I'm?
Yeah, it deals 2d6 to everything in the area, and creatures who make a successful agility challenge take half.
Cool. All right.
Shall I roll my 2d now?
Yeah, I'm also going to give.
damage
I'm going to give these
to
as a bane because there is, just nowhere
to go.
Really maneuver.
Cool.
Although one of them probably wasn't. Yeah, one of them probably wasn't fully out of the room yet, and so isn't caught as much. But the other 2 are. Yeah, the other 2 are just torch. Does it actually set them on fire as well? Is that a thing?
I don't think it says that it does. No,
it's
but
just
they
like
take
a
8
burst of
fire
not
damage.
exploding.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then one of them takes 4. The one that is successfully. Thanks. And Sly's going to turn around and be like, thanks.
You get
6 one of
uses
6 uses?
this. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Cool. 1/6. Thanks.
Yep.
That's my turn.
Does that set anything on fire beyond them?
There is like it says it is just a short burst. So there's definitely smoldering, but it's nothing's like caught ablaze yet.
That was a very loaded warning. Ugh.
Yeah. I am going to do the old stabby stab on the guy that's in front of me then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. Hey.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, and solid hit.
Not
It's seeming like they're not what if you once you like when you do hit them like in a way that is going to sort of disable someone that can't feel pain. That doesn't seem like it takes that much effort. It's just more that they're not slowing down. Speaking of, the ones that were just set on fire start
coming for me.
Coming down the area. The only really 2 of them can get on you at a given time. So one of them manages to sort of land a bit of a blow for 7 damage. Just tearing at you with fingers and nails.
Ah, not my clothes.
Oh, the turret. I was like, I'm forgetting something. The turret gets to go.
Like,
Which
15.
one is it shooting? I mean, it hits, but which one is it shooting?
Oh. Probably the one still in the room with Victor.
Yep.
Yeah. 12 damage.
Yeah.
Oh.
No, right again, straight through through the head. Just drops it.
Good.
And the remaining booths all have their doors open, just broken open. So in between Sly and Amelia, there's 2 more coming out from the booth between the 2 of them, and then there's 2 individuals coming out of the last 2 single sleeper booths. And we're at the top of the round.
So how many do we have altogether right now?
Looking about like 8 or 9. 9.
Okay.
And 2 of them are between
No,
me and
sorry,
Sly
7.
and
What am I? I was like, no, 8. It was 7.
Yeah.
Because you've killed.
so there's
killed
2 between me and
couple
Sly, and then 5 on the other side of Sly.
Yeah, and the 3 closest on that other side of Sly have been, relatively aflame.
And
Aurora, you're no longer frightened.
Turns yet? Okay,
I'm-
great.
So Aurora can do fast turn, Sly can't.
In that case, can I stand beside Amelia and stab at the one between her or one of the ones between her and Sly?
Yeah, you can. And you'll get you'll get the bonus damage from trickery now because you're actually getting the boon.
Yes. No, I will not.
Whoa. No, that's still a hit.
Really?
You got Yeah.
you could
I mean, +5 on the boon was entirely responsible for that. But yeah, that's still a hit.
It's a boon.
They're not like they're not like in any way really taking. They're mindless creatures. They're not trying to defend themselves. All they're trying to do is attack you. It's more that like. Yeah, so you get the one that had previously avoided as a bit of the fire, but you just cut it down, and it just drops to the floor.
Sorry, because I cut out just then. So Aurora just took her turn. Did you step forward into my?
She's
No.
beside you.
I'm beside Amelia.
Yeah.
You're beside
So
Amelia,
there were
not
two-
me.
Yeah, there were two beside.
The two were attacking Sly, and Amelia's further back.
I'm
I'm
like 10 meters back, or however far I can get back in this carriage, because I used that celerity.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
There were two between Amelia and Sly. I went for one of the ones that was between the two of you.
Oh right, sorry.
Yeah,
those
okay,
ones. I thought you said you're going for the ones that are. My bad. Yeah. Okay. So that one doesn't isn't taken out, but
okay.
You attack those ones.
Victor then jumps on the same one that Aurora just stabbed. So he'll get a bane because he has to charge out of the room, I presume.
Yes.
Okay, so -5. I don't know why that. So this is a -2 straight roll. So 12.
Yeah, still good.
He does another 1 damage to it.
I mean, every little bit counts.
Thank you for your help.
Hit your service.
And then like Amelia like looks down at the pistol and then like up at the carriage and is trying to work out whether they've already made so much noise that the pistol shot won't matter.
The pistol shot will definitely be louder than what you've been doing there, but
yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, the flamethrower is probably pretty. It's like isn't as loud. It's probably the flamethrower is probably more disturbing if anyone can hear it, but the pistol will carry a lot further.
Yeah, and so she sighs and instead reaches out her other hand, and like this pentacle comes like down her hand and shoots out, and as it does, a magic wrench just like forms midair, and it's gonna try and knock out the same one that Victor and Aurora were trying to. So I believe I make an intellect attack.
Stealth wrench.
Yeah. Oh,
that's a crit if the wrench can crit.
It does. It doesn't do more damage, so it takes 6 damage, and then it's
that takes it
prone and is impaired. Well, there you go. It's very, very impaired.
Yeah. It just like I'm imagining like if we're seeing the fight from like Aurora's perspective, because she's sort of a bit lower, so she's looking up at these two, and then like she and Victor are just like tearing at it, and then all of a sudden this wrench just smacks it in the temple and it just goes sprawling out down. And you're like, oh, that works. Yeah. So the ones that are the one fighting Aurora will try and hit you unsuccessfully, and the ones on Sly, one of them will still hit you for another 7 damage.
Okie doke. That puts me past my half.
Alrighty. Oh dear. All right.
Oh no.
That may have done something. Just got a bunch of rolls to just quickly check.
Especially if it doesn't do something.
the one that had hurt you had managed to get like it's gripped you with its fingers, are basically sort of like it just sort of tightens that grip and then sort of just sort of wrenches down a bit, and it just this sort of this pain just sort of like shoots up your arm, and so you're going to be impaired until the end of next round.
Okay, so I can't do anything this turn, can I?
A double check. No, you just roll attacks and challenges with a bane.
Okay.
Which usefully probably won't affect spraying fire on things.
No. Okay. Well, that makes sense because I've still got my trigger arm, so the other arm's just hanging there floppy, and I'm like.
Yeah. So basically, if you have to make an attack roll or a challenge roll, you'll have an additional bane on top of the one you're getting from being frightened, but you don't actually roll to attack with fire.
Cool. I can live with that.
Burn them all.
Yeah, can I? Is it my turn yet? Was that all the?
Yeah, that's the fast round.
Okay.
So you are now and you can now go, and you can of the 5 corpses in front of you, you can definitely catch 4 of them from where
Sweet.
you are.
Well, I'll spray it, not say it. Yeah, one of those moments where you're like, oh.
Oh, what have I done?
The furthest one manages to not take as much damage. Oh no, the middle one, one of the others as well. Not that. How much damage did you do? 6. All right.
6. 3 to the 2
All right.
save.
Yes, the 3 that you had hit last turn, that takes them out.
Woo.
And then the one at the edge catches a little bit of that fire and takes just a token amount of damage, I guess. But then though that one and the one behind it both shamble down. The further one will have to charge you to get in, so it's going to have a bane, but the other one can get to you pretty easily. The first one hits, and the second one hits. And you take what? Oh, you take 6 damage overall.
Okay. I'm pretty bloodied at this point, guys.
Do you have a triggered heal action?
I do not have a triggered heal action. I have to expend an action.
Okay.
It does allow you to retreat if I
Yes,
remember.
it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
But it requires an action.
Yeah, you basically get to retreat, but you also get to then heal. And you all have healing potions, of course.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, the crossbow turret.
Remind me what's left.
There is one that's fighting Aurora, and then there are 2 that are now fighting Sly.
And they're a bit crisped, aren't they?
One of them is crisped.
Right,
Yeah,
I'll aim for that
the one fighting Aurora and the one that's crisped. That's the only one that's actually taken damage. The rest of them haven't taken any damage at all.
All right, I'm aiming at Crispy Boy.
Woo.
That's a 14.
Yep, that's a hit.
7 damage.
And that is just enough to take it out.
Boom.
So that one also drops. And top of the round. Which how many turns is that for? Oh, you're still frightened, Sly. Yeah, so this is the last round that's Sly that you'll be frightened, but you're also still impaired. So
Okay,
you have to go
till
on the
the
slow.
end of
But
this.
yeah, but Amelia and Aurora can still go in the fast round if you want.
I do want.
I'll, as Sly, be like, could use a little help, and then just like vomits a lot of blood.
Oh,
Oh god.
Yeah, I'm very close to down. One more hit, I'm out.
Oh. Okay.
I'll just go Victor, that one, and Victor will charge at the one next to Sly.
as it does, the zombie that was fighting takes a swipe at him. It does 2 damage.
Okay. Charge. Oh,
That's
19. Oh, and +3, but I don't think Victor can crit, can he?
I don't believe so, no.
2 damage.
2 damage.
And another magic wrench shoots forth from Amelia at Sly's enemy.
Mm-hmm.
So 17.
Oh, good.
Yes.
7 more damage.
Yeah.
I don't think you are within.
Oh,
No, you.
short
Okay, never mind.
range.
I was about to say you. You would have to take a bane on that attack roll, but you'd still hit with even if you rolled a 6. So
Okay.
it's all good because you can, if you want, you can shoot. So you can, if you attack outside of what its range is, but you can double whatever its range is, but you'll then take a bane on the roll. And because you move back, it's only short range. But yeah, you can. That hits essentially. Long story short, doesn't quite take out that corpse on Sly though.
It is knocked prone though.
Yes.
Yay! That's a start. As I look back and I'm like, thank you! And more blood just flies over my shoulder.
Ooh.
And my dead arm hanging next to me, flopping about.
Can I? No, I'd have to take a. Actually, I can shoot with my bow. I will do that. At the one near Sly.
Yep.
I do that with a boon. Can I use trickery with that for range?
Yes, you can. Yes.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's good. That's enough. Yep. That's it.
Does that take it out?
Oh yeah, that takes it. That takes it completely out.
Okay. Sly swings his dead arm over his shoulders like a scarf and looks at you and says, "That was hot." And it's like, he's really out of it now. He's lost a lot.
I know.
Sly gets weird when on low on blood.
Yeah, I think any character gets weird when I'm inside them, pretty much.
Wow.
I mean, sure.
Rating.
Now, focus up, darlings. There's still one left.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, I think that's everyone. So it will try and hit Aurora. What's Aurora's defense?
No, that hits. It's 15.
For 5 damage.
Ouch.
And then Sly.
I'm gonna be like, I'm sure you've got this, and I'm gonna skull my healing potion. Like it's
Not a
going out
problem.
of style.
Yeah, the potion will kick in. It actually kicks in. I mean, nothing's going to interrupt this at this point. But potions kick in at the end of the round. Not when you drink them.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like there's no one else is going to be at the moment. This point is going to be affecting you. So.
And I'm gonna slide
That's all.
down the wall and be sitting in the corridor, just drinking it.
Yeah.
Turret.
Hits.
11.
Yep.
Or 8 damage.
Not enough to take it out, but I mean, at this point, it's basically dead. You all get to go before it does, and I can't imagine.
We could miss.
Hey, we
If you
could.
want, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you can do the 2 damage needed to take this guy out pretty effectively.
All right,
so.
do you want you finish this one off?
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, well, let's see what happens. Yeah. That's one. Yeah.
Yeah, you finish it off, and you.
I stab it in the dick, and I'm suddenly really confused as to why it died.
Everything you knew was a lie.
Didn't work last time. It did work this time. You know what? I'm gonna have to stab more dicks to find out. It's science.
Was the first one female? Is that what? Is that what it was?
Stabbing in the box just doesn't do it.
Wow.
Not the same. Sam, I have
Female
a
form
question.
is
It's superior in many ways.
really.
Sam, I have a question about healing kit. I have a healing kit and it says 6 uses remaining. Is that just for stabilizing people, or can I sit here healing myself for a second?
It only heals 1 hit point.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I think. Yeah, it's because it is mostly for stabilizing things, so it is just the one.
Well,
But
I'm
Amelia
pretty
walks over to
fucked up.
Sly and hands him another healing potion.
Bless you. Maybe I'm wrong about you. Maybe you're not such a bitch. Oh, I say as it's like running
she
down my chin.
frowns.
Did she just take it back?
And looks at Aurora and then back to Sly and says, "Do people think that about me?"
Oh no, just me. Don't worry.
And then she shakes her head and pats the turret again, and she says, "Well, don't worry, bitches love cannons." As it just dissolves into the roof.
Oh.
Oh, and
already have
thanks
a-
for this. And I wave the hose of the flamethrower, and I'm like, I'm going to be very quiet for a little while I digest this healing. And on that note, I'm going to take a brief break. Teeny little sickness break. Keep playing. I trust you guys
That's
to make
all right.
choices for my character. I'll be back.
Let's go.
Don't kill him. Don't kill him. That's all I ask. And make him weird. I'll be back.
I feel like we can succeed at both weird and not dying.
Mhm.
Having said that, yeah, you are. What do you want to do now that you finished off these corpses?
Well,
Um,
it seems that this may have been an ambush in itself.
That would be something you can assume, sure.
Yes, this Dugan here is annoyingly capable of these kinds of, and she gestures at all the dead bodies around.
Mhm. Sam, do we know how long it will take to get to Fortune? Yes? No.
To the foundry.
Foundry.
It's about 7 or 8 hours. It's an overnight
Okay.
journey.
Oh, okay. Right. Well, he doesn't have
Um,
7 or 8 hours worth of people for us to fight.
no, we will find the bastard and be done with him. And in the meantime, I just want to like look through the rooms that these zombies were in. Like, is there any
Yep.
sign of?
Make a. No, never mind. You're quite studied on with magic and occult. You definitely see, and given that you know what to look for, there are various sigils and whatnot, seemingly written in, at best guess, the people who are now corpses' blood, in these rooms, and
so it doesn't
you do
look
recognize
like
a kind of.
These people were like they were turned into zombies after getting on the train, not beforehand.
Yes,
they weren't
it looks
being
like someone's
transported as
basically.
an army of undead. They were
It looks like
literally set up to
these
protect someone.
No, these look like they were just passengers on the train that have been killed, and then was set to basically animate them when when some trigger was met.
Yeah.
What do we know about Dugan? Was he able to use necromancy?
Not as far as you're aware. He was more. He was, he was more of a sort of, I guess, roguish type. He would. His tasks were often observation, so he'd be set to sort of like, trail people or just set up like an observation post when watching things. There's no record of him using magic, but then maybe he was hiding it, but there's definitely been people working with him this whole time that you've been trying to catch him. So potentially it's someone else that he has with him.
Yeah. Should we move on?
Yeah, Amelia like kneels down next to one of the not roasted corpses, and it's like this pretty young girl, and she says, "Such a waste. Sorry, darling." And she just like closes its eyes. She says, "Yes, moving on."
If you look if you look through the window into the next carriage, it does look like it is a the dining cart.
Okay. Are there live people in here?
It seems to be. But they don't. They look like they're guests, really.
Do they look like they heard anything?
No.
Aurora will walk through the carriage like she owns the place. The best thing to do when you don't know what else to do.
Yeah.
As we reach the end of this carriage, Amelia like puts a hand on your shoulder. You said there were portholes that like see a tiny bit into the next carriage. Is that right?
Yeah, essentially, it was like it's more of just like a window in each of the doors, so you can look through the window into through the window of the next one. So is what I assume you were just doing just then.
Yeah. So from this carriage, I want to look into the next carriage and then cast eavesdrop inside the next carriage and see if I can hear anything in there.
Sure, yeah. What does that do?
I choose a point in space
oh.
I can see within long range, and I hear as if I was at the chosen point for a minute.
Yeah. Is there a particular point you want, or just sort of like just somewhere where you can probably get a general sense of the carriage?
Probably the middle of the middle of the next carriage.
Yeah. All right. Make a perception roll.
It's an intellect roll. I'm not sure if I have any racial pluses or negatives though. It's probably okay, given that I rolled a 19 naturally.
Yeah, there's no you don't get any bonuses to your perception. So most of the conversation is just like, as you would gather, is passages. They're the beginning of the dinner service, it seems. There's people taking orders.
Now Amelia has met Dugan. Like, she was in the ambush from her last mission. She wants to listen for his voice particularly.
You don't hear Dugan, but what you do kind of notice, it's just hearing.
Just hearing.
You can see into it. So you can see at the towards the far end of the dining cart, before it goes on into the kitchen and then the walkway into the next area. There is definitely a pair of people, figures at one of the tables that are. It's weird that they're not at all. There's no conversation at all coming from that table.
Right.
Everyone else is at least like, they're at a restaurant. They're chatting. They're giving orders. They're having a good time. But these two are sitting in complete silence.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like the waiters aren't bothering them. Whether they'll, like, it's potentially like they've told them to go away, kind of thing, or. But then they're like the last table before we moved on towards the next carriage.
Well, shall I make an entrance? And just like look at Aurora.
Have fun.
She nods and she looks back at Sly and she says, "You hold on to that, darling," and like nods towards the flamethrower. And then Amelia Victor like slithers back into Amelia's dress, and she makes a grand entrance into the room.
Yeah, make a will roll with a boon.
Okay.
It's
a good boon. But that's a 1. That's a 9.
Oh, no.
No, you felt like you did absolutely everything correctly. This is not this is something you're very comfortable doing, and then you make this grand entrance and no one cares. No one even turns around to look at you.
Yeah, I think she cocks an eyebrow and mutters to herself, "Stuffy elites." And is there like a bar in the dining carriage?
Not. It's more of a, like, there's like sort of a kitchen area. It's a series. So basically, it's like there's a walkway through the middle of the carriage, and on either side there's booths with like 4 seats and a table between them. There does seem to be a kind of a divide halfway through that's currently open, and then at the other end there's another door, which the the wait staff seem to be moving in and out. So that likely leads to the kitchen, and also would lead to where you would need to go to the next, continue through to the next next carriage. So there's not like a bar, but obviously you can people have ordered drinks kind of thing. There is likely a bar further down, like a kind of like a salon car kind of thing, and there'll be a bar in that one, but that's more for the that's usually like more of a reserved sort of like a VIP space at the far end of the train.
Are there any empty booths near the two silent men or figures?
The one across from them, yes.
Yeah, I think Amelia will slink in and sit across from them.
Yep. They're both sort of like, there's a brief glance before they sort of just turn back to whatever it is they're doing. They seem to be trying to not draw attention to themselves. And they're actually sort of almost like they're sort of like turning slightly away from you. Like if you weren't like paying attention to them, it might be something that wouldn't really raise notice. But because you are very aware of them, it's like, all right, they're being a bit weird.
Can I've hung back to now. Can I reach up into my hair and remove Philip, my froggy friend?
Yeah.
And ask him to go and look at what they're doing. Philip and I have a relationship whereby we can communicate by speaking.
Yep.
So I'd like Philip to just go and have a look at what they're doing in silence.
Sure. Make.
No, this is me assuming that easy. Amelia would have told me that there was silence.
Yeah. I definitely said there's two suspicious fellows, and then I go and sit next to them.
Yeah. You can send Philip, such a way that no one doesn't really draw attention. Obviously, someone sort of frog on the train, that would be, not good. But Philip is smarter than your average frog and is able to move. Isn't obvious. So yeah, Philip can. Kind of like Philip's on the other side, I guess. He sort of found a little nook that he can sort of sit in and look at these two people. Still not talking. So, like he overhears anything. So Reed, they've to catch you up. You're moving into the next carriage, which is the dining carriage. And Amelia used an eavesdrop spell to sort of try and listen in to see if there's anything weird going on in that room.
You got to use your eavesdrop. Yay!
And noticed that there was one of the tables had two people who were suspiciously quiet. And Amelia is now sitting across from them, and and Philip the frog is also watching them. So what does Sly and Aurora do from there?
Well, I've got a flamethrower, so I'm holding back. I'm gonna just sit on the other side.
How much Sly stands out at this point?
Yeah, when you add it all up, and on top of that, I'm crazy attractive. So even if I wasn't wearing this horsehair helmet and fancy clothes over obvious armor, and carrying a flamethrower. And my arm, is my arm still dead? Like, am I like still wearing it?
No,
like a
you've
scarf?
between the two healing potions, you're in a pretty good.
Okay,
That's
yeah,
all. That's all healed.
yeah. I mean, look, my health still isn't great. I'm not gonna lie, but having said that, so I'm bloodied. I'm pretty bloodied.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just hanging back to see what happens, waiting for the go ahead.
Yeah.
Sam, if I cast a spell, how obvious is that? Like, if I cast sense magic, do I have to wave my hands around?
There's every time you use the spell, there is a verbal and like there are you have to speak the words and wield an implement and so you don't have to wave your hands around, and you could try and be quiet about it. So you could make like an agility roll to try and or intelligence actually. You can make an intelligence roll to try and be subtle. That will be okay.
Yeah, so I think Amelia puts her like pendant down on the table and like puts her hand over it, and she's just like sort of muttering, trying to cast this spell quietly. I got a 14.
Yeah. What are you casting?
Sense magic. I just want to know if there's any magical effects within the diamond.
No.
Within 5 meters of me.
No. Doesn't appear to be.
Okay. Does a waiter come over to me or anything? I've been sitting here for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at that point, I mean, they've been busy. As I said, it's the beginning of the dinner service. They're taking a bunch of orders, but at this point, there is a waiter does appear and offers you a menu and asks if you need any refreshments.
Yeah, I'll order something exotic and expensive sounding, and flirt with the waiter a little bit, and then while he's sort of distracted, I say, "What's in the car in front, darling?"
Oh, that's well, more sleeper carts. They're for our passengers, and then the one after that is the VIP card for people who have paid a little bit extra for their ticket, and then I guess there would be the bar. Oh, and then
I'm so surprised
the
that
locomotive
Father
itself.
did not get me one of those carriages.
Oh well, hey, he sort of shrugs a bit, sort of like I don't know who you are or who your father is, so yeah.
Yeah, and she sort of just like
I don't know you or your dad.
Pats him on the arm and says, "Don't worry, darling. We all make mistakes."
And he kind of nods, and then if you've not indicated there's anything else that you need, he'll move on to another table.
Mm-hmm.
Is Aurora doing any? Are you doing anything?
I'm gonna move up towards Amelia and sit down as though she's been waiting for me.
Yeah. Possibly to like Amelia's slight irritation, you do draw a bit of attention. Like it's just more sort of like this tiny fawn just walking through the middle, and it's like okay.
Have a long hair, darling. And I'll sit down and sort of subtly try to wave Philip over.
Yeah, I think that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Philip is small and stealthy.
Yes. What did Philip see of their table?
I mean, it does. They both appear to be sort of like very tense, and they're both from like, while keeping out of view from your side, they are both sort of not they seem to be both be like at a guess it looks like they're now holding on to like weapons of some description. Although this the feeling is that they're not about to like attack, they're more sort of like they're on the defensive. They're more worried about you than they're going to try and they're ready for you to do something rather than about to do something to you.
Specifically us.
Yeah, they definitely they're trying not to be obvious about it, but they are paying a lot of attention to you.
Oh my, this sounds like fun. What were you gonna do?
No, it's all right. I don't want to interrupt. Do you want to do anything with that information? You go for it.
I do want to do something with that information.
You do.
Can I very subtly draw my dagger? Look over as if they are someone that I haven't seen in years.
Yeah.
And do they have, are they booths or are they tables with chairs?
Booths that are essentially like 4 seats with a table between them.
Right.
But they're like attached into the wall.
Are they in the booth or are they on the outside of it?
One of them, they're sort of like diagonal up one. So one's on the far wall, one's like closer to the but they're opposite each other.
Can I just slide over and say, darling, I haven't seen you in years, and go and slide in and sit next to them?
Sure. What do you want to happen here? Like, are you trying to put them off? Are you trying to convince them that you do actually know who they are? Like,
no. I wanted to put them off guard because I'm assuming that they're trying to be subtle. I am not trying to be subtle at all.
Right. Yeah, make a... What would this be? Probably I could say intelligence. And I think you can have a boon because you're sort of good at sort of making people, feel how you want them to feel. No, yeah, they're not as phased as you might expect them to be. And they're like, I don't know you. Leave.
I noticed you have weapons.
And?
I also have weapons.
I want that on a t-shirt.
Let us rejoice in our shared love of weaponry. He's just like, so what do you want?
Why do you have your weapons drawn?
They're not drawn.
Ooh, why do you have weapons?
Imagine the same reason you do.
What could you possibly need protection against?
Well, dangerous world. Anyone could be after you. Anyone at all.
I'll look around the carriage.
I want to slide into the booth at this point, opposite.
I mean, that would be tricky, I guess, because essentially at the moment, like for Aurora to get in, Aurora is on the edge on the seat closest to the walkway, directly opposite a guy and sitting next to another one.
Yeah, so the one that she's opposite, I want to sit next to him, sort of like.
Well, he's on
fall
the edge
into
as
the
well.
booth.
Like you could like come up to me and be like, "You need to shift over so I can sit down," kind of thing. But it's not a-
I
there's
think
not a-
she does
there's
more
not a
the like
free check.
fall half on top of him, like push him over with her hips kind of thing. And
Are you just trying to like
she's sort of-
bodily move him, or are you trying to like make him move, encourage him
Bit
to
of-
move?
bit of both. But she's also sort of like half draping herself over him at the same time.
Sit on his lap.
Make a will roll.
Yeah, and I think like as she does, she like looks at Aurora and she says, "Are these the lovely gentlemen that you said our friend Dugan knows?" Aurora, the 19.
Absolutely.
They get a little tense when you say that. From like like noticeably, but it sort of passes.
Darling, there's no need to be tense.
And at that, I'm going to barge in at the no need to be tense. I'm going to walk in and be like, "Where's Drake? 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 Has anyone seen Drake? We're out of complimentary towels and I want another shower." And I'm going to pull so much freaking focus and waving the hose around like, woo, of the flamethrower.
Yeah, you draw all the attention. That's you're a crazy person wearing armor and wielding something that probably looks dangerous. It might not immediately be apparent what it is, but it's like, I don't know what that is, but I don't like it. I don't like that you're waving it around. I don't like it. You specifically are waving it around.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of commotion and no one is paying attention to anything other than you. And there's probably a bunch of like staff like running up to me like, "What are you doing? What's going on? No. This is not okay."
Excellent. I just want to pull a lot of focus to give you ladies, if you want to do anything, if you want to make any moves, I'm just going to keep being rowdy and demanding to see Drake. And like every time one of them approaches me, I'm like, no, I only want Drake. Drake and I have a connection. He understands me. He understands the value of hygiene. Where is Drake? You don't have to.
I don't know what to do. I'm so entertained.
Sly, really have a fortune for that. It's nonsense.
Thanks. I do love nonsense. I'll take it. Thank you. I have a feeling I'm going to need that real bad.
I'm going to say to the person I'm sitting next to, "Tell me where Dugan is. I will leave you be. Don't tell me where Dugan is. I will kill you."
Make
So much for stealth on a train.
Intellect roll. They're sort of like they sort of glance at each other, and they're just like, "Look, we're not here for trouble. I don't know a Dugan, but we were paid. We were told that if anyone, well, noticeable, anyone who stood out came through, that we were to alert."
I'll pay for that.
It was a it was a dwarf, Erica. She called herself. We were to alert her the moment we saw someone, well, like yourselves.
Back crap crazy.
Specifically describing us? or just anyone noticeable?
Anyone who didn't look like they were a regular passenger.
I'm going to pat him on the knee and say thank you for noticing me.
He sort of shrugs.
Yeah. And Amelia like shakes her head and says, "You've gotten yourselves into a lot of trouble, darlings. I would just suggest that you stay here and stay quiet." And then she like falls out of the booth and like stumbles over towards Sly, and she's like, "Eric, darling, please stop making a commotion. Please come back into the cart," and grabs him by the arm and like pulls him into the next cart.
Brilliant.
As Aurora, are you going to follow them into the next cart?
I am going to keep my eye on them at all times, but yes, I'm going to slide out of the booth and give them a little wave.
As you get up, he doesn't not an aggressive move at all, but he does sort of try to sort of like, catch your arm to sort of more as to get your attention, not to like it's clearly not. He's not trying to be aggressive or anything. And then he sort of leans down, so he's just sort of talking very quietly to you. He goes, "They know you're coming," and then he puts into your hand a kind of like some kind of like a disc, like a sort of like a clay disc, which it seems to have some kind of sigilling on it, some kind of runes almost, but it is broken. And he goes, "All we were told is if we saw someone who didn't look like they belong, we were to break that, and she would know. As soon as I saw you, I broke it." And he sort of hands it to you.
I pat him on the cheek. Thank you, darling. Stay here.
And he nods, and they sort of go back, sort of just trying to not draw attention to themselves again. And then the other one sort of turns around and goes, and he says, "They're probably in the bar.
Thank you.
Nothing personal. It's just money."
Enjoy the money. I will catch up with the other two and the stupidity that's happening.
Well, once we get
happened.
into like the next carriage, it's like more sleepers, and so we just like have dropped the act entirely.
Yeah, I would assume so.
I hope so.
And we're just like looking into rooms again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty apparent that like everyone is probably either in the dining cart or possibly and potentially for these people they might go to the VIP bar.
I'll hand Amelia the clay disc and say, "They broke this. Apparently they know they're coming."
With my magic academic profession, Sam, do I know how this works?
You imagine it's like that the rune on the disc is sort of like the caster will probably know if the rune would imagine would know that when the rune is broken. They get like an alert that's happened. And so if this caster had told these people to break it when they saw someone, then message has been delivered.
Okay. Are we able to move up to the porthole and see into the VIP bar from here?
No, there's another sleeper car between you and them.
Okay.
But like I said, you could probably move through both these sleeper carts, and you're not getting interrupted. There doesn't seem to be like you keep an eye out for any more like if you want to use like sense magic, but you can also just keep an eye out for signs of more runes or sigils. You don't see anything, and you aren't. And again, both sleeper carts seem to be entirely empty. Though it does look like all the
Yeah.
booths are like occupied. There's no one currently. in
Yeah,
them.
yeah. That's okay. Well, when we get to the door that leads to the VIP area, that's when I'll cast Sense Magic.
Yeah. So when you
Yeah,
get to
sense
that,
magic
make
within
a if you want to if you want to try and like look in like stealthily, you want to make an agility check to
Mhm.
try and see in without
Yep.
drawing.
As I do that, I think the pentacle amulet flares and my eyes like glow blue. I'm going to use Epiphany to get a like essentially advantage on the roll. I get to roll twice and take the higher.
Yeah, sure.
Well, the first one was a nat 20, so that's probably all right.
Probably fine. You know.
Yeah, so I want to sneakily peek in and cast Eavesdrop again inside the VIP cart.
So as you look inside, you see it's just carnage. There were definitely a bunch of people in here. They've all been killed. A lot of them, some of them it appears have been like, at a glance would seem like, they've been, hit, attacked with some kind of weapon. But some of them like almost just look like they're sleeping rather than dead. But you can see two dwarves are sort of checking all the bodies, and at the bar, but like actually behind the bar probably is a female dwarf who seems to be directing them, but while also just sort of like having a drink. You don't immediately see Dugan.
So there's 3 dwarves in there, and none of them are Dugan.
Yeah.
I look at the others and I say, it's a fucking mess in there.
Do you want me to
Guns
kill it with
blazing?
fire?
Sorry, what was that, Aurora?
Yeah.
Guns blazing.
She shrugs, she looks at Sly and she says, after me. 3 dwarves. None of them are Dugans, though. And she's going to push the door open. And, like, as she does so, like, not even waiting for a response, she's going to issue forth her technomancy magic. And just, like, this hex, like, appears in front of her, like, as she opens the door. And these 3, like, metal orbs just fly out from her, 2 towards the 2 that are standing next to each other, and 1 at the woman behind the bar.
Yep.
And then they explode.
What is the range of these of the grenades? I'm assuming.
Yeah. I did not write down the range on the spell. Give me one moment. It said pick 3 points, and I didn't write down within what range. Technomancy. Short range. So I have to like rush in there, don't I? They have to be within 5 minutes.
You'll probably be able to catch, like, is there an area to them?
1 yard radius, so like they have to be standing next to each other to get splash.
You could probably
That's like 2 meters wide, right? So like
no, you rolled pretty well for your stealth. I'm gonna say you were able to sort of move up, and you can sort of
if you need me to expend another celerity triggered action to like move into the room so that I can get
let's
all
do that.
3 of them.
Yeah, so you basically just like rush up, and before they can react, you basically can hit each. You can basically chuck a grenade at each of them.
Now, are the 2 standing next to each other? Are they close enough that they'll splash on each other?
They're not next to each other, but they are closer to you than the other one.
Yeah, sure. I'm still gonna grenade one at each of them. So they get to make agility rolls, I think, to take half damage.
All right. So the two regular dwarves are successful. The one at the bar is not.
Okay. So one takes 3, one takes 2, and one takes 3.
Okay. Where are they? 3. And then the other one takes 3. Yeah. And yeah, we we kick off at that point with these grenades flying. So anyone, the other two are, you're still back in at the entrance, not able to move as quickly as this magically enhanced Amelia. What is Sly and Aurora going to do?
Well,
Shoot.
shoot her.
Shoot.
Go for it. You shoot.
I can't get into melee, but I can shoot my bow. Am I within bow range?
You are, I believe that's like medium range. Yeah, you would be in bow range, sure. Of probably both the
Then I will.
the two dwarves that were searching the bodies.
Of just those two.
Let me just double check. How big are these things? No, yeah, the bar's roughly in the middle, so you'd be able to hit all. You take a pick of 3. Although the lady behind the bar would have cover, so you'll take a bane on that one if you choose to shoot her.
Right. I'm going to take the bane and try to hit her because she specifically was told that we were coming, and I don't like that kind of underhandedness. Yeah.
That's a hit, yeah.
Great. 3.
Were you using trickery for that?
I was. Oh, is it just if I use trickery? But I didn't have advantage on it. But it's just if I use trickery.
Oh, no, right. No, sorry, because you don't get the burn. Yeah, no, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah, so you hit for 3.
Doesn't she needs to do an assassinate save as well? Right? Or
Is
she
that
just
how it
dies?
works?
I think anytime you hit, you can make things
Is
save
she
or die.
well,
surprised?
no, because she's not surprised.
She's not
because
surprised.
She just put a grenade
And I'm
to the
not
face.
hidden. Yeah.
I thought you were hidden, given that you just ducked out of the train carriage.
Well, you were hidden. You were the one who went through, and then you sort of burst through the door.
Yeah.
Okay. That wasn't surprising, me jumping through the door and throwing grenades at people.
Oh, like, you were.
It was a surprise. You surprised her.
Yeah.
I didn't
You-
surprise her.
yeah.
She knew I was coming because there was a
If you had
grenade thrown at
assassination
her
grenades,
face.
then
Yes,
Can you hide as a triggered action?
I can. And in fact, can I hide after doing that?
You can definitely try. There's not a lot of cover between here and the bar. You might be able to sort of duck back behind the entranceway and sort of like, hope
Yep,
that
for my
they
next turn. Just
forget about you. But make an agility roll, but take a bane on the agility roll.
Okay.
No, you're not.
No.
You're not able to.
And in fact,
the timing doesn't. Probably actually because Sly's coming up behind you. It's just sort of like there's just not the room.
she's
to
also
maneuver.
gently. Aurora's actually still kind of happy that they thought that she looked worth looking at, and so is just quietly humming, "Don't you forget everything."
Right. Sly, are you doing anything in the fast turn?
Can I safely light up anyone from this distance?
I mean, your friends, sure.
Well, that's what I mean. Because it's a line. It's a direct path. So
Yeah, no.
okay.
You need to move first, probably.
Like if
Yeah.
you moved up, you might be able to find like an angle to get probably one of the dwarves.
Okay, I'll
Currently,
wait
but
then. It's all good.
but they might, obviously move themselves.
Yeah, that's fine.
Which,
I'll wait.
on that note, is Victor doing anything?
Yeah, Victor uncurls from Amelia, and his back opens up, and coming out of it is Amelia's shield, which she like reaches down and grabs. And
Yeah.
And then she just like nods towards the doors and says, "Go." And yeah, he'll like just launch at the nearest dwarf.
Sure, you'd easily charge one of them.
So that's nope, that's definitely
no.
a miss. It has another +3, so it's not a 0. But...
Yeah. Having said that, make another roll because the dwarf is going to run past it, so you get like an opportunity attack. So make another roll without a bane.
Okay. That actually has a +3. Yeah. 15?
No, not just shy.
Armored.
Yeah, you can see that. You see quite closely. You see that they're both wearing mail, and they have a a shield, and they're both charging you.
Okay.
So they will attempt to. Should be 21 hits.
It does.
So they've got picks of their own, and they do 3 hits you for 3.
Okay.
We're gonna go. What's the range of this? Yeah, so the one behind the bar is now starts chanting rapidly, and then she sort of thrusts her hand out towards Amelia. Just double check what your okay. And you feel something like these it feels like something's tugging at something inside of you, but you're able to sort of shrug it off.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go beginning of the slow round. So Sly, if you want to do something.
Yeah. I'd like to move into a position. Can I aim at the bitch chanting behind the bar? With the flamethrower? Can I maneuver into a position?
You're about the same speed as. Yeah, you can get into a position to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to shoot her with fire.
Ooh.
So she's gonna make an agility save.
She is successful.
All right, so she'll take
to
half.
duck behind the bar, but takes half whatever this is.
We'll see. It is 8, so she takes 4 damage. And I'm down a flamethrower use.
She sort of screams out, "Dugan, get out here!" At which point...
And I'm like, yes, Dugan, please come to us. Make it easier.
Come on out.
Come on down. Yeah, much more at the other end, at the far end of the carriage, behind pops out a much more familiar looking dwarf. He sort of rounds from behind a sort of like a little walled off area. And he's just like, you just don't give up, do you? And he's carrying a quite a fine looking rifle that is currently it seems from the distance you're at, it appears to be kind of like glistening. And he will take aim at Sly.
Mm-hmm.
And he, where are we? 22.
No, unfortunately, I'm pretty defensible. So
I was just like, at a moment of just like, wow, really? That's amazing. Wait.
wait, hey, I had you.
Yeah, he hits you for 14.
I think I'm unconscious. Yeah, I am.
Oh.
So I'm down.
Okay.
Okay.
What are all these numbers?
Don't worry about it.
Depending how much I maim, if I'm dead.
I don't. Oh. I don't know if this is immediately apparent. Because I don't think Sly. I don't think Sly reverts to his changeling form when he's unconscious.
Ooh,
It's only if he dies.
you
Yeah.
die.
Yeah.
Where is it? Nope, that's the other one. You still revert back to so you've reverted back to your changeling form. And I don't know what, but like where I guess you as in your changing form would have a nose, there's a hole.
Okay.
It's basically like it's just come through the side of your head and it's just removed your nose as you drift into unconsciousness. And the last thing you see
Oh no!
so you go.
As I pass out.
And the last thing you see is with practiced ease, he seems to just reload. He just very smoothly reloads the rifle, almost like, and he's almost immediately ready to shoot again. Which brings us to the end of the round. So you need to make a fate roll. Sly.
That's right. Just a D20, correct?
D6.
D6. Okay, I can do that. Bam. 4.
You are still unconscious.
Woo. Oh wait. Can I spend my fortune?
Sorry, you are disabled. You are not. You're not unconscious, but you're just like on the ground, drifting in and out, kind of.
Yeah. Now, if I wait, so that counts as a success?
It basically on a 1 you start dying. On a 2 to 5, nothing happens, and on a 6 you regain a point of you heal 1 damage, and you are just simply impaired for a minute. But if you are if after 3 rounds of being disabled, you drift into unconsciousness.
Can I spend my fortune to make that a 6? Like, it's tricky because I know that whether it's.
I think that's one of the things you can do with a fortune.
Because if I can, I'd like to do that and just wake myself up a little.
Yeah, I'm happy with you to do that. So.
Okay, thanks. I'll spend that fortune.
You heal 1 point of damage, and you're impaired, but you're no longer disabled.
And I'm a pile of twigs and mud with no nose.
Yes, yes, you are.
Sexy.
How can we tell?
Yeah, I mean, I think you've seen. I don't know if these two agents specifically have seen Sly as a changeling, but it is there. There is like no. It's like you might not know what's supposed to be there, but there's like it's noticeably like, some. It's pretty grim to look at.
Oh, I'm a dick. I didn't look through my stuff. I could have been using quick reflexes and hiding it on every turn as a triggered action. Oh.
Yeah, I realize that also now.
Yeah. Fun times. Fun times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, top of the round. Keep it in mind.
Sam, talk to me about using ranged attacks while engaged in melee. Can I shoot someone?
I think it gives you like a bane.
If I shoot the person who's close to me, what if I shoot someone else?
I think that's okay. Or it might just be a bane either way. I think it's a bane either way.
Yeah, I can't see anything about it here, but there is like half cover. If there's an object between me and the attacker, there'd be a bane.
Yeah. Oh, let's say it's a bane. Who are you wanting to shoot?
Good question. Sorry. Fucking Dugan. He hit really fucking hard with that rifle, hey.
Yeah.
Can I use my quick reflexes, because it's the beginning of a new round, to hide and then shoot him with my bow? Is that something I can do?
Yes.
I'd like to do that, please.
Also, Richard knows that bows are long range, so you can hit any of them. Definitely try and shoot.
Do I need to do something to hide?
Make the agility roll.
Yeah.
I'm just double check.
Check if you're
That's a
sneaky.
10.
You might get a boon. Are you sneaky? You make challenge rolls to hide and sneak with one boon.
I don't think
think she is.
I don't think you do that one.
No.
But
Right,
I mean, that's successful. You are hidden.
Okay.
So if you
I
want
am
try
going to.
You can
I want
use
to
your,
try to assassinate this guy.
Yeah, so you'll make if you want to use trickery, you're getting a boon from attacking from hidden. If you want to use trickery, you get 2 boons and obviously more damage. And you can attack a Dugan, I'm assuming.
Yep. I get 2 boons if I attack from hidden.
If you want to use trickery, yeah.
I am. Okay, let's see.
Oh.
Yeah.
Come on.
That's also your
on.
exploit opportunity, so you can make another attack, another turn, essentially.
Yeah.
But he does not. He takes the damage, but he doesn't fail his strength thing.
Okay. I will shoot him again, I guess.
Sure. This
But
is
I can't use it this time.
this is just a straight roll.
Oh,
Nat 20.
Still,
Yeah.
that's
do I roll? What happens? Is it a crit or no?
no. Well, rogues
What happens?
when they roll higher, once per round you get an extra turn, but you already did that, so
I've already
there's
taken
nothing. You don't get anything. You don't get extra. So it's just a hit.
it. Okay. Oh, it's just a 1. But everything
That's-
adds up.
It really does.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are the other two? What are your other two doing?
Can I use my triggered action before I take my action to do Doppelganger's advantage and turn into Dugan? So I'm stealing. So I'm using the steal identity talent in
You do
that
as a-
triggered
as a-
action.
Yeah. So
And now I
look
have
like Dugan.
Yep, and I can make attack rolls against him with 1 boon. So I'm like,
Yes.
oh, let's see how you like it. But then I'm going to quickly
Yeah.
use my action to...
Backstab. That has to be with a melee weapon, though. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am not close enough for that. So I am going to use my nimble recovery.
Yep.
I can move up to half your speed without triggering free attacks.
Yeah, you could move past the two dwarves fighting Amelia if you wanted to do with that move if you wanted.
Well, I want to get as close to Dugan as I can for my next hit, and also because hopefully that'll give him a disadvantage if he tries to shoot me.
Yeah. So that happens.
Okay.
You advance up.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my action to use my spell recovery, so I heal my healing rate and recover a spell.
Yep.
So I'm back to 0 wounds.
The Erica, the dwarf behind the bar, pops up again behind the bar, and she sort of takes this deep breath, and then she
Sam,
blows
sorry to
out.
interrupt, but Victor is totally.
Oh yeah,
leaping
Victor
on her.
goes. Yeah. Do a thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you finish, but Victor got to attack
Okay.
first, man.
Yeah,
Victor
he
overshoots.
misses.
Yeah, she sort of she just breathes out this this wave of this sort of like this stinking cloying mist that just sort of spreads out in front of her, and it rolls over both Sly and Amelia, and these two dwarves. And I'm just going to double check something. Amelia, you're fine. Amelia, the perfectly normal human, you are unaffected by this. Sly, I need you to make a strength challenge roll.
Sure. Can I just double check? This isn't anything that I would be immune to.
No, that was what I was double
Because I have
checking.
immunities to immune. Oh, you did double check that. Okay.
You're immune to disease, but this, more importantly, not poison.
Sorry, you're breaking up a lot, but I will roll it. I'm assuming it's strength. 14.
Yeah, that's a success. So you're still come on. You take 3 damage as you sort of, it still is this sort of gagging and coughing. And now.
Sorry, I missed that again. Cutting up so bad for me. What happened to me?
You just took 3 damage. You took 3 damage, but you're not. There's no long-term effect.
Took 3 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I can't hear you guys at all. Far out. Like, it's so robotic. I'm gonna try dropping out, and I'll try and come back in.
Okay. One of the dwarves does seem to be a bit affected by this, but the other one seems fine. And they will then attempt to hit Amelia.
Mm-hmm.
One of them, I believe, is successful. Hit you for.
Yep.
That's not correct. That should be a 5. Take 5
Okay.
damage.
Yep. Dugan's the only one who hasn't acted now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Dugan is going to he's going to try and shoot at Aurora.
So, well, hang on, because Sly is now engaged with him. Does he get that Bane?
No, Sly is not engaged with him. Sly is probably could, with a charge, get to him next turn.
Oh,
but
I thought
currently
that's
isn't.
what I tried to do when I moved on my nimble
You
recovery. I thought
you
you
have
said that-
moved close enough that you can engage him this next turn, but he's on the far end of the carriage.
And the carriage is more than 10 meters long. It's
It's
okay.
more like
Or 15.
like
however.
15, 20 kind of thing.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Dugan misses though.
Thank
goodness. Yeah. Thank goodness.
And I don't think anyone needs to go into the slow round, so I think that's the top of the round.
I'm gonna go first because I'm gonna try to hide and assassinate again.
Yep. Make the agility roll.
I'm scared about what just happened there.
That was to make check that was the poison dwarf. You are yes. Make your attack. 2 boons.
Okay. Please. Oh,
Yeah,
whoa!
yes.
What's going on?
You are killing it.
Yes.
Why am I not killing it? Damn it!
2d6 damage. Ooh.
Yes.
Thank you. That is
Freaking
something.
max damage.
Oh. Aurora's just going to say, why won't you die? How far away is he? About 20 feet.
Probably from you, probably going on like maybe a bit over 20. Meters, not feet.
Yeah. Meters. So. I get it to attack again, so I probably should. And I will, in fact. Actually, if I get another turn, if I wait to go in the slow round, can I move forward and then attack?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah. Okay. I will wait for that.
All right. Who else is going fast?
I'm going fast. I'm going to charge Leroy Jenkins style. Leroy Jenkins towards Dugan. Take the charge action. But I'm going to go with my long knife, and I'm going to use... I already get a boon on him because I look like him, but I also get a boon on him for trickery, so that drops down to 1 boon because of the charge.
Yep. But you still get both the trickery and the backstab damage.
Yes. That's if I hit him. So I'll roll the boon.
Yeah, shoot me.
Roll the attack. That'll do it. 24.
That's a hit with... and you triggers your opportunity as well. You can make another turn.
Cool. I'm going to hit him with the long knife, trickery, and backstab. Correct?
Yep. You get the whole thing.
The whole lot.
Man,
so that's 9.
You could attack him again immediately if you wanted.
Yeah, I'll do that. I'll just attack again without any.
Yeah.
Oh,
you still get a boon from looking like him.
Looking like him. Yeah, sweet. Hopefully that'll help. 16?
Yeah, it's just enough, yes.
For a regular stab now, right?
Yeah. Well, no, you still get backstab because you have your attacking with a boon.
Oh,
so 2d6.
Right. Okay. Let me double check. I'm just going to do that manually. 2d6. 10.
Oh, yes.
Tell me how you kill Dugan.
That's funny. We had. Oh, damn. All right. I look like him, so I'm just like, see? Don't you wish you were as hot as me when I'm you? And then I stab him in his eye.
Just in time, there is like, don't you wish that you were as hot as me?
Me. And then I'm stabbing his corpse on the ground, singing that.
I yell to you, Sly, throw her the backpack, and I'm like looking at the mage.
Yeah, and I'm gonna. Yeah,
Well, you're out of it. You don't have.
I'm out of
don't have-
turns.
You're out of turns. Yes.
I'm out of stuff.
Okay,
For flavor, can it be like a bonus because I'm winning? Like I killed him. Can I just be like,
instead of your cunning action hide thing?
You know what? I'm gonna say yeah, because I don't know. I don't know what's about to happen, but I'm sure it's gonna be amusing. So, make a agility roll to see if you can land it. Actually, make an agility roll with a bane.
okay,
It's awkward.
yeah. Oh, that's a bad bane to have.
Ooh.
Come on, roll reasonably high. 13.
Feel good. Like it's you manage to sort of get it off, and you land basically like so. She's within the bar. You just get it behind. You get this thing behind the bar.
Okay. Now the bar is on the side of the train, right? Like the side of the carriage.
It's basically it's basically like a U-shaped bar, but it takes up like it's on roughly in the middle of the carriage.
Yeah. So Amelia, a big like hex pentacle appears in front of her again, and she just like pushes her hand through it, and 3 more metal orbs fly over the bar and land next to the mage and the flamethrower.
Yeah.
And explode.
How many shots did the flamethrower have left?
It had 3 left. So it's an additional 3d6.
Yeah.
So she needs to make 2 agility saves.
Just trying to think. How close were you to the bar? You were because you are within short range.
I'm over engaged with the dwarves, right?
But you could the range of the.
You let me grenade her before, so
yeah. So you're within short range of the So
yeah, and as a triggered action, I'm gonna celerity backwards, so I'm not within range of the explosion.
Nice.
My last celerity.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I'll allow that. Problem being, Sly is.
Yeah, Sly's gonna take it.
So,
no.
Sly, you need to make an agility roll. This caster needs to make like 3 agility rolls, and then the other.
But you have.
Good. It's not bad. 13
for the grenades. Just got to quickly yeah. Okay, for the grenades, 1 success, and failure. So
she takes
6 to 8. Like 11 damage there. For the flamethrower itself, half. For the 2,
she takes 13.
The other 2 dwarves. So, Sly, you take 6 damage. Wizard.
I'm unconscious again.
Oh no!
The wizard. Oh god.
I mean, I blow the side out of this train, right? It's
you've just blown there's just a gaping hole in the side of this train. This wizard is gone. It's just not there.
Evaporated.
One of the
it was a bar, so I'm just gonna say like it was filled with alcohol.
Yeah, no,
and
it was.
It
wasn't great. One of the other dwarves is just ragdolls across back towards you. It was also dead, and another one, the other remaining one, it manages to sort of like take the hit, but
I need to make an agility for Victor as well.
Oh no! Oh
yeah, Victor is blown to smithereens.
Wow!
Oh my goodness!
Yeah. So are you down again, Sly?
Yeah.
Is everyone dead, Sam?
One of the dwarves is not okay, but he's not dead.
And I have one more turn.
And yeah. And I think Sly's on the ground, not moving. Well, not moving much.
And also back to being a pile of mud and twigs.
With no
yes,
nose.
and it's also back to being a pile of mud and twigs. How about Aurora? If you want to do something with that extra turn of yours,
I'm gonna run up to our final dwarf friend and see if we can stab him.
yeah.
Do I
Sure.
do that with a boon? No, it's only one turn, right? So
I'm gonna say you get a boon anyway because he's there. He's a little bit distracted. The train just
just a
exploded.
little bit distracted.
I don't think any of your attack rolls have been under a 20. How much damage do you do?
I do 7.
No, you just kill this guy. It's no, he's dead. Someone Sly make roll a d6.
Oof, this could be bad.
Mhm.
This could be the end of Sly. Oh,
Well, it was
So
both.
does someone want to go help Sly?
Yeah, I'll run over
Yes,
to
I have a
him and use
healing
the healers.
potion.
Oh, you have a potion?
Yeah.
I have a potion.
Okay.
I'll go and administer
Okay,
that.
thanks.
Yeah.
I've been down 3 times? No, twice?
Mhm.
Just twice.
Twice.
Twice. But near death
but-
a few times.
With that, you your potion gets you up again, I guess.
As you wake up, like
Woo!
the two of us are standing over you, and I look down and I say, "Sorry, darling, but nobody calls me a bitch. Now get yourself together."
Oh,
And then
Oh.
I assume that the train is like screeching to a halt, right?
at this point, yeah. Oh yeah.
Surely.
Yeah. So she says,
Um,
"Now get yourself together," and she like just turns to the hole and runs and just jumps out the train.
Make an agility roll.
I mean, we're done here, right? We need to get out of here before someone comes
It's
looking.
true. It's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
Everyone make an
Okay.
agility roll. All 3 of you.
yeah.
Oh, I'm not
I'll
going to survive this.
No,
I'll
I'm
use
kidding. It's-
Epiphany on mine.
Yeah.
So I get.
Oh, I did it again.
I got a
You
nat
give
20.
badass rolls. I got a 5. Which is really what I need when I'm barely alive and I jump out of a moving train.
Yeah, someone patch up Sly again.
Well, it's like my
God.
half. I was like, huh? I feel like he just fell out of the train.
I take out my healing kit and
Do you want me to do this? I've
Thanks.
got a plus. Actually, you know what? I think Amelia is just on the run plan now. She's probably leaving.
Is
us.
it just bolting? Just
Booking it.
Yeah.
Aurora does have a healing kit, so I am going to just heal because I'm a healer as well.
yeah. You
Oh.
notice when you come over to note, you do notice that all the extra trauma, it like Sly is bleeding pretty profusely at this point, but you're able to sort of patch that up, and the 2 of you can sort of get him out, and yeah, you sort of make a run for it, and
Or a hobble.
I think that's
I'm going to hobble.
or a hobble. You hobble off into
hobble
the
for it.
sunset. Well, it's nighttime now, so yeah, you're able to sort of make your escape at this point. Which I think brings us to the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that was
That was
Uh,
hilarious for Sly. I was like,
I-
oh, he's dead. Oh, he's up. Oh, he's dead.
like. Could I just want to like if you hadn't taken out the wizard just then and there, Sly was probably dead, like
yeah.
almost definitely dead.
Mm,
I mean, if you guys
Um,
hadn't taken out Dugan just then and there, I was probably going to grenade
Yeah.
him instead, and you would also definitely be dead.
Yeah, no, I was ready. We had to.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, I'm ready to die. I'm gonna get grenaded, and Sly's gonna be. Sly just can't
This is-
die.
Slide
Yeah.
does not
I don't
die.
know.
I mean, Sly's got some scars now. Like,
But he's
Yeah.
a changeling, so
yeah,
who
I,
sees him?
So those stars not
I
permanent.
don't. I guess I don't know if that. Yeah. Like I first said, the scar doesn't. I don't know. I'll think. I'll see if I'll think about it. Whether or not you're like your scars and lack of nose. I don't think it would. But yeah, you definitely your natural form is it's it's been through a lot. So but as we at the end of the episode, let's sort of whip round everyone, remind our wonderful people on Twitch and later on YouTube who you are, where they can find you, what you're up to. Jamie, lead us off.
I am Jamie Collette. I'm at Muffin Manifesto on Twitter. Please follow me there to find out anything that's going on. I'm a voice actor and game designer based in Sydney, Australia, and you can find my website at www.jamie-collette.com.
Nice. I am Rhiannon Marshall at RS Marshall on Twitter. I am an actor, voice actor, singer, that crap. I am currently based in the UK, and please check me out at the Penny Peep Show podcast, where I'm currently a regular featured voice actor, and we'd love your support. Thanks.
I am Chantel. You can find me at Chantel B on Twitter. I'm a Sydney-based actor, singer, performer, that thing. Yeah, and you can find me on Twitter. Please tweet me. It's fun.
And I'm JP. I'm a Brisbane-based performer. I do occasionally put videos on YouTube on the channel Sammy P Productions. You can find me on Twitter at _Sammy P. And yeah, that was rough. But you caught him. Turns out when rogues roll really well, it's just a lot of damage. Thank you all for joining us once again. We have, I don't know if there's a show currently directly after us, but there will be a show later of when I'm playing Symbarum. So I believe that's still going, so check that one out. And otherwise, join us again next week for more Empire and Shadow. See you then.